Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming a Berkeley Q&A because I did a poll on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me, you should definitely go and follow me. I just started it last week, so go and follow me so you can vote on future polls of what I make videos on and the style that I do them in. I definitely value your guys' input. So I'm going to be doing a Berkeley Q&A because the vast majority of my followers voted on a Berkeley Q&A. So I went back through all of my videos that I've made so far and I screenshotted a few questions and I'm gonna answer them, and then if you guys have more questions on them, then definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and let's get into the video. So the first question is, what do you mean that Berkeley does not offer the contemporary college experience? And so basically, I think it definitely is personal and it depends on every individual and what they want out of college. But basically, the way that classes are set up and just the competition and the pressure to perform, I think a lot of students opt for studying on the weekends and studying in their free time. I know people definitely do go out, like don't get me wrong, there is a social scene at Berkeley, but it's not a party school. So if you're going to college to have fun and party it up and not study, then Berkeley is probably not going to be the best school for you, because I have yet to go to a party. I've been invited to parties, but I don't go to parties because I study instead, and I think that that's very similar to a lot of other people that go to Berkeley. And in addition, there are just not as many parties as a lot of other schools. So if you're thinking of the contemporary college experience as an opportunity to party and get away from your parents and just have this fun, carefree experience, Berkeley is probably not the best place for you to go, because that's not really what is offered there. If you search for parties, you're gonna find parties. College is kind of what you make of it. So whatever you're wanting to get out of it, you can get out of it. If you want to study, get really good grades, get internships, then you can do that. If you want to come and party and go out on the weekends, then you can also do that. But Berkeley is going to be a little bit more difficult to just walk down the street and come upon this party, you know? So it's not a party school, and that's what I generally think of as the contemporary college experience, is like a carefree, fun experience. And that's not what I found so far at Berkeley. Other people may have other opinions, and if you do, let other people know down in the comments below. I also just don't look for parties, so maybe I'm just in that pool. But yeah, that's kind of what I mean by that. So along the same lines, the second question is asking if I am in a sorority and my thoughts about social activities on campus. And so there are definitely a lot of social activities on campus. Like, Berkeley is a college, so they're gonna have clubs and fraternities and sororities and co-ed frats and organizations. There are gonna be a ton of different things that you can get involved in. There are club sports, intramural sports. There are a lot of different things you can definitely get involved in. It's all about what you want to involve yourself in, what you have time to involve yourself in, and that sort of thing. So I am not really involved in too many social activities on campus. I work, and I was in one club related to my major, but it's really hard for me to keep up good grades and be involved in a ton of different social activities. That's not really my priority. Like, I don't really care about being in a lot of social. I don't really care about being in a lot of different clubs. I will be rushing a co-ed frat this fall for a pre-law frat, but besides that, I really am not involved in too many other things because I'm really focused on keeping my grades up. So that's my priority. So whatever your priority is, you're going to be able to seek that out at Berkeley, and there are definitely social activities for you. There are awesome sororities. I know a lot of people who are involved in Greek life and they love it, and then I know a lot of people who have gone into Greek life and they really don't like it. And so I think it is not necessarily about the school, it's kind of about the person and what you want out of it. But I also do know that Greek life is not huge at Berkeley. It does exist and there's frat row and everything, but it's not as big as some other schools. This person has said, are you happy there, or how are your friends? Good luck on all your tests and be safe. Thank you. I finished all my tests for this semester, so basically sometimes I'm really happy at Berkeley and sometimes I'm really depressed. But I think that that's not very much different than a lot of other colleges. So it's not that it's Berkeley that's making me depressed or whatnot. It's kind of just college in general, and the atmosphere at Berkeley is not always helpful. But I definitely have friends. I've met a lot of people. They're really awesome. Most of my friends are in CNR, mostly because I have classes with them, but they're just really awesome people and I can really count on them and depend on them. Yeah, I have awesome friends and they're all doing well, and not everyone at Berkeley is depressed. Just as much as not everyone at Berkeley is depressed, not everyone at every other college is happy. There are going to be people who are sad at other colleges, people who are happy, and there are people who are really happy at Berkeley, and there are people who are really sad at Berkeley. A lot of people are asking about CNR, which is the College of Natural Resources, which is my college. A lot of people are really curious about my experience in CNR, and I think I'll definitely make a more in-depth video about my CNR experience. But I'll answer a few questions right now about it. Pretty much the number one question that I get asked is, what's my major? And at Berkeley there is a major called Conservation and Resource Studies, and Conservation and Resource Studies is essentially environmental science, and it's an awesome major, and I am absolutely so thankful that I found this major. Basically what it offers you is the ability to create your own interdisciplinary plan, your own field of study. So basically what I always really struggled with was I love science, but I also love policy, and I like, math, and I like a little bit of writing, not too much writing, but I do like writing. And so I always just kind of found it really hard for me to narrow myself down to one field of study and follow exactly what this one plan tells me to take. And so what CRS, which is Conservation and Resource Studies, offers you is the ability to craft your own plan of study. So you get to pick 8 upper division classes from any college on campus, any field on campus, and you get to create your own area of interest. So say that you're really interested in sustainable development or urban planning, then you can take a lot of urban planning classes, and say that you're also really interested in sustainable food sources, and so you can take a lot of food classes and SPOM classes, which is environmental science and policy and management. You can take a lot of classes in food sustainability, or say you're really interested in GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. You can take a lot of classes in the geography department, and it's basically just allowing you to craft your own field of study. And so mine is in sustainable development and conservation of biodiversity. So basically my interest is in developing sustainably in a way that promotes biodiversity. So I basically get to look at the class schedule and I get to see which classes interest me. Oh, that one really interests me, that one really interests me, that one really interests me. And as long as I can come up with a good explanation for it, I can tack that on to my area of interest, and then it will count for my degree. So I get to take any 8 classes that I want, formulate this group that it falls under, and then that's what my degree is in. So it's Conservation and Resource Studies, but my area of interest is sustainable development and biodiversity conservation within the working landscape. I've already set aside all the different classes that I want to take over my years at Berkeley, and once I complete all of those, or if I just change my mind, then I can go in and edit my AOI, my area of interest, and then once I'm done, I apply for graduation. They make sure you took all those classes, and then you're done. So any class that I decide I want to take, I can just add it on there, and it's so awesome. Like, it's been the absolute best thing for me. Someone asked further, what was my major and how did it factor into my decision? So it was almost essentially the entire reason I chose Berkeley. Basically, the freedom to be able to choose any class that I want to take was just so intriguing that I had to take up the opportunity, because that's such an awesome opportunity as an undergrad to be able to determine your own academic career and say, I want to study this, so I'm going to study this. It was one of the main reasons why I chose Berkeley. I think that your major and what it offers and what it requires of you should be one of the top things that you think about in choosing a school. Someone asked what area that I'm interested in that Berkeley does not offer, because I mentioned that in my 10 things I wish I would have considered before attending Berkeley. I basically said, like, you definitely need to look into the classes that are offered so that you can make sure that the exact field that you want to study is offered. I'm really interested in marine conservation, and Berkeley has no marine conservation classes. They have one marine mammal class, which is an undergrad class, but it wasn't offered. And then additionally, they have some fish ecology classes and freshwater ecology, but once again, that's not a marine system, so there are almost no marine classes at Berkeley. So that was a total bummer. I don't regret going to Berkeley, but you definitely want to look into that before. They also asked if grade deflation exists in all areas of study or mostly STEM classes, and I've only really taken STEM classes. I've taken a few English classes or like sociology classes, and I didn't experience too much grade deflation in those. But once again, they're STEM classes, so I can't really speak for everyone. I only know my own experience. If you guys are really interested in learning more about the grade deflation, before you pick classes, I would definitely recommend going to berkeleytime.com, I believe. I'll put a little note up here for Berkeley Time, or also link it down in the down bar below, but basically it takes all of the grade distributions from all of the classes that are reported, and so you can look up different classes and you can see what the average grade distributions are, and that's super helpful for choosing classes, because if you see that the average grade is like a C+, then that means it's probably a really hard class and it maybe experiences some grade deflation. That's a super helpful resource, so I'll link that down below for all of you guys who are curious or scared about the grade deflation. A lot of you guys are also transfer students or people who are considering commuting, and that in that of itself is a really huge topic, and maybe I'll make a more in-depth video on commuting. I will say that I did live in Berkeley for a period of time, and then I decided to move home. I do commute to campus. There are different ways you can get here. Pretty much if you live in the Bay Area, you can take BART or you can take AC Transit. If you drive, it's really hard because you have to get a parking permit, and they're expensive getting them from the college, and also you have to get there really early to be able to actually find a parking spot. It's definitely one of those things where you have to weigh out your options. Another person says, how hard is it to maintain a solid GPA like 3.7 or higher? I think it definitely depends on your field of study, the grade deflation, what classes you take, how hard you push yourself, how much time you spend dedicated to studying, and that sort of thing. So I myself do not go to parties. I do not have too much of a social life. I do hang out with people and I go out every once in a while, but my main focus is on studying and doing well in school because I want to get a good GPA. So therefore I have a 4.0. Has it been really hard to keep it up? Yes, it has. You can do it if you take the right classes and you dedicate time to each of your classes. So like I said, it definitely depends on the classes you take and how much time you dedicate to studying. You really have to define your priorities and what you want out of school, and then the rest can come. Check out Berkeley Time, look at the classes that you want to take, look at the average distribution, and go for it. So this person says, I'm transferring as a junior in the fall. Do you have any tips such as how to get under research opportunities with your professors, do's and don'ts, and stuff you didn't expect when coming into this major? So that's a lot of different things. I don't think I'm going to cover stuff that I didn't expect going into the major because it's pretty straightforward and there's nothing I've really been surprised by. I'll probably do another video about how to get a research opportunity, but I basically did my research opportunity through URAP, which is Undergraduate Research Apprenticeship Program. Berkeley is really huge on undergraduate research, so you'll definitely be able to find undergraduate research opportunities if you want to, but let me know if you guys have specific questions down below. So that is it for this video. I answered quite a few questions, gave a pretty basic understanding. Hopefully I answered some of your concerns and your questions. If you guys have more in-depth questions, let me know below, or follow me on Instagram and comment. Let me know what you guys want to know. I can make more in-depth videos on these things coming up. I can't really help you make your guys' decision. That's on you to make your own decision. It's also on you to create what you expect going into Berkeley as a freshman or a transfer student. I would say above all, keep a level head, so don't expect too much, but also don't expect nothing. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed, definitely do so below. I'm going to be making lots of videos this summer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!